Now, fertility levels decrease after 35, but women are leaving it later than ever to have their first child. Now, it may come as no surprise to hear, then, that an increasing number of women are now paying hundreds of pounds to have their fertility assessed. It's been called a fertility MOT, like what we do for a car, but for your ovaries, basically. Do you think... I feel like you've all left me. So do you think, Amy, that that's a good idea?
I do, actually. During my early 20s, I was very panicky about not meeting someone because, for me, being a mum is a thing that I definitely want to do in my life. And I had a chat with my mum, and she was like, well, if you haven't met someone by the time you're 35, then we'd, like, support you to have a baby on your own. So, for me, a fertility test now, knowing, you know, if I need to start earlier than 35 or I need to freeze my eggs now would be really helpful. And I think it'd be helpful for a lot of people who might leave it later and then get to the later and find out they can't.
But Amy, what do you... Sorry, I'm just going to understand this. So if you haven't met a man
the right
person or a partner, whatever, before you're 35, you're going to try and have a baby by yourself.
Yes.
So become a single parent.
Yes.
OK, so how is that going to work? Like, have you actually genuinely thought about how that's going to work? Because the only reason I say that is because I don't think anybody in their right mind would go into single parenting as a choice. I just personally think that because I know a lot of single mums and life is so hard for them. It's so hard.
I know. The way that I look at it is I know a lot of people who didn't plan to be single mums and have ended up single mums. If I made that conscious decision, I'd be well prepped. I have a very good circle around me. I've got a very, very supportive family, and I feel like as long as the child is loved and is supported, if it's by grandparents or aunties, you know, and you as the mum, I think it's...
Well, I guess in some way it's better than almost getting to 35 and panicking and going, oh, he'll do. I'll just sleep with... Because you'd end up a single parent anyway.
So what's your criteria for the father of this child?
Well, if I'm lucky enough to meet the perfect person to have a baby with... So
no, I'm just asking, when you're talking about the perfect person, I mean, get real. There's no such thing as the one.
I know.
There's Mr. 60%. So what's your percentage?
Mr. 60% has got to be funny, kind, trustworthy. It's not going to mug me off. And just be a nice person and be good with banter.
But what in the meantime? All right, you have the fertility test, which I think is a good idea, but I think personally should be included in a MOT for all women.
Yeah.
So as women go through their 20s, it seems like a really good idea to have a medical test, like we were talking earlier about looking at skin cancer and looking for moles, things that women, you know, are prone to. So if the fertility test could be part of that, I think that's a great idea. What slightly bothers me is that here you are in your late 20s and you're already thinking, right, I need to be a mum. What if a really fabulous job came along? Or what about if Mr. Right didn't, or Mr. 60% didn't come along? Does the baby, is it more important than everything else?
Yes. For me, being a mum is always something I've wanted. My mum always says it's the best thing that she's done, obviously. So for me, and I've grown up around little kids, so for me, I've always been very maternal. So
maybe you could be a nursery nurse. Just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Well, you know, this fertility test, I wish it was around when I was kind of younger, because I did the career, got myself financially secure, I got myself a Mr. Right, I've got married at 32, so, you know, I wanted the right person, and everything was set in place, and then when we were trying for a baby, I was told, really sorry, it's not going to happen, because I found out I had stage 3 endometriosis. Now, that's something that could be caught so early on when I was a young person. So if that could have been caught early on, my plans, you know, for when I wanted to have a baby or that kind of thing I would have planned for it like you. But, you know, the cost of these things is so expensive. And the only thing that I feel is that I like the fact that it will check whether you're fertile or not. But for women to then use that as a choice to determine the rest of their life, I have a bit of an issue with that. I don't know why, but I just find that an issue. Like, oh, I'm fertile, that's OK, but you know what? I'm going to have a baby when I'm in my 40s and we'll freeze my egg.
So what would you say if Amara said that to you? You've had that conversation?
What do you mean?
Well, like, Mum, I don't know if I'm going to meet someone, but I'm definitely going to have a baby when I'm 35.
If your daughter
would you support her like Amy's mum has?
Well, the thing is, I would say to her, look, as somebody who had a child later on in life, I would actually just say, first of all, it is really good if you can get support, because there have been times when I had 2 children, Steve went away for a while because of work. It was a real struggle, OK? That was the first thing I would say. And the second thing I would say is that as I've got older, it's been great to be an older mum, but it's hard work going through the menopause and looking after 2 kids as well. Your body is designed to have children at a certain time for a reason. And I don't want to sound backward or like, you know, I understand everybody's struggle, everybody has a different life, but I would just say to my child about my own personal journey, and then at the end of the day, it is her choice. I wouldn't deter her.
A lot of women now are choosing to have children later for quite selfish reasons. They want to get somewhere to live that's got to be perfect, for example. They want to find Mr. 60% if they're lucky, and they want to have a decent career. That's all fair play to them, but as Cyrus said, they are, you know, and they also look at a lot of famous women who are having babies right through their 40s. They've got a huge amount of help. They've got all the material comforts around them, and, you know, they might not have parents as understanding as yours, but they've certainly got the money and the support to have that child late in life. So I could come back to what you've said, Siara, that it's tough work, you know, try and do everything.
I've got a message here from the reply from the NHS that says women being investigated for fertility problems may well need to have these tests, which help plan and predict the success of IVF treatment. But women who have just started trying for a baby and have no known fertility problems should probably save themselves the money and stress. The results of this study strongly suggest that these tests don't predict how easily or quickly a woman will be able to get pregnant.
Interesting, yeah.
So there you go. Anyway, they're being very sensible. Don't listen to them. You have a baby if you want it. I'll babysit.
Babysit? She's got all these dogs and horses. When are you going to fit babysitting?
Oh, it'll great immune system it'll have.